Hey YouTube, my name's Nick. This is my first video. I'm basically gonna give an honest opinion of the Jeep Wrangler. I just bought it on Saturday. Today is Wednesday. No, sorry, today's Tuesday. January 2nd, 2018. Happy New Year's, everybody. I'm just gonna go over the Jeep that I bought. It's not new, but it's got all the options I wanted, so I'm going to go over a few of the things that I've wanted in this Jeep, and I'm going to give my honest opinion of it first right now, and then I'll do another video a month in of, how whether I still, like those options or whether there's other things I wish I had. I do live in Canada. I live in Central Ontario, so if you can see behind, a little bit of white back there. It's pretty snowy. We've got about maybe 1.5 feet total. The roads are pretty clear right now, so I haven't needed to use the four-wheel drive or anything too much. But anyway, so what I bought was a 2015 Jeep Wrangler Willys Wheeler. I got it from a friend of mine who works at a Chrysler dealership, so it is directly from Chrysler, but it was a customer trade-in. The guy who traded it in bought it brand new in 2015 from the same salesman that I deal with. He's a friend of mine. So it was bought in June 2015, June 11th, I believe. He traded it in to buy a truck, so they basically gave it to me for about $1,000 more than he traded it in for. So I got a pretty good deal on it. Let's say I paid about $35,000, not including the financing and all that stuff. Not going to go into that, but I paid $35,000 for it. Now it does only have 21,000 kilometers. I don't know what that is in miles, but it's pretty low from considering it's over 2 years old, 2.5 years old. They've had it for, and I guess they didn't drive it much. They just drove it in the city. So anyway, let's go for a drive here, and I'll let you know what kind of options it has and all that stuff. So anyway, so like I said, it's a 2015 Willys Wheeler. The real difference between the Willys Wheeler and just a Wrangler Sport is it's got the Rubicon suspension as well as the Rubicon rims and tires. So it's got the same rims as the Rubicon. The only difference is they're painted gloss black. Same with on the back. It's got the 34-inch tires, I believe, and they're the BF Goodrich mud terrains, which I've been driving them in the snow and I'm not having any problems. The sales manager that I talked to has the same tires and rims on his, but he said every once in a while they get clogged with snow. If you're in really deep snow, if you just spin the tires a little bit, fling the snow out, you won't have any problems. I've been driving this for 4 or 5 days now, pretty much consistently, and I've never really spun much unless I'm coming around a bend and there's snow and I accelerate with it in rear wheel, not in four-wheel drive. It does spin and kick a little bit, just like in a truck. Now I do have the 6-speed manual. It's got the 3.6 liter Pentastar V6, which is standard in the JKs. So far, I'm pretty happy with getting a manual. I had a manual Mitsubishi Lancer before this. I'm currently selling it, but it was a 5-speed, and it was a 2-liter 4-cylinder. So obviously, there's a lot more power in this than in my Lancer because the engine's almost double the size. But I have noticed substantial fuel difference. Like, it does burn a lot more fuel than the Lancer did, and I knew that coming in, so it's not really a shock. It's got a pretty big tank, and I just filled it up. It cost me about $60 to put it, or $70 to put in 60 liters of gas, which, and I'm still getting used to the whole Jeep Wave thing. So that is a thing, by the way. Anybody who's considering buying a Jeep Wrangler, it is a thing. Everybody waves at you that drives a Wrangler. It's kind of weird. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's definitely I keep catching myself looking to see who it is because they wave, and I keep looking to see if I know them, but I keep forgetting. Yeah, it's a Jeep thing. You know, you got to get used to it. My girlfriend kind of laughs every time I wave at somebody, but it is a thing, so you prepare for that when you buy it. Basically, the difference between, like I said, with the Willys, it's got the Rubicon rims and tires. It's got the same rims, but they're black. It's got the black gloss painted grille and black bumper accents. And it's got the Willys stickers on the, or decals on the front, on the side of the hood, as well as a four-wheel drive little decal on the back bumper, or back tailgate. That's about the only difference. Physically, for when you look at it, it does have this, the 3.73 rear axle ratio, which is bigger than standard, but I mean, you can get it as an option on the Sport. It's just it's bigger, so it will burn a little bit more fuel, but it's better for towing and off-roading. It's got more power on the back end, which is definitely nice. I haven't noticed too much yet, but driving it, oh sorry, with the Willys also, it has the tow package on this as well, and it has the same suspension. From what I understand, it has the same suspension as the Rubicon, which is, again, good for off-roading. The only real difference is the Rubicon has the Dana 44 front and rear axle. This has the Dana 44 on the rear axle, but not on the front. Dana 30 on the front. As far as performance, though, this has the same suspension as that, but the Rubicon has the detachable, the disconnectable front sway bar disconnect, which is good for if you're in rock crawling sort of thing, as well as the axle locks. You can lock the front and rear on the Rubicon, which you can't do on this, but it does have an anti-slip rear differential on this as well, from what I understand. So again, I haven't really noticed too much, or even know what it's supposed to feel like. But all in all, other than the fuel economy on this, I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, I knew that coming in, and I don't do a lot of driving, mostly in town driving, and that's what the person that owned this before me did, mostly just in the city. So I knew that coming in. I'm not gonna cry about fuel economy. It's a Jeep. If I wanted to save money on gas, I wouldn't have bought a Jeep. So all in all, I mean, it did come with the hardtop on it. It does have the soft top as well, which I have in storage at the moment. Looking forward to putting that on this spring and be able to take the top down in the summer. It'll be nice, but we'll see. Apparently the guy who owned it didn't even put the soft top on ever, so it's brand new, which is nice. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. I've only had to put it in four-wheel drive twice, and that was once I was driving in pretty deep snow, so I put it in. I put it in four low at one point because I was testing it out, pulled off the road, and then you put it in four low to get back on the road. I mean, other than it catching the side of the road and dragging along the side of the road, if I had got more ballsy and yanked the wheel up onto the road, I would have got up, no problem, but it did take a couple seconds to kind of get the edge of the road and pull me up, which, you know, I'm still learning how this thing handles and what to do with it. But all things considered, I'm pretty happy with it. The only one thing that I never really thought about when buying this was, especially being it's in the dead of winter, it's January, is the amount of slush that flies up on the side, on the rear fenders. There's a lot of snow that builds up and a lot of slush that builds up there. So if you have passengers getting in and out of the back a lot, they're probably going to get their pants dirty. I had friends in here yesterday and they noticed that just you got to keep wiping the snow off with your snow brush when you're clearing snow, or just go out and just wipe it off with a rag. It does fly up from the front wheels, especially in this, because like I said, it's got the off-road mud tires, so it flings a lot of snow around. So be prepared for that. Also with this, I don't have the side steps on this. I've got the rock rails on it, but no side steps. So when you get in and out, you kind of have to just kind of pop out, which you get used to it. It does sit higher than what I'm used to, which I'm not a tall guy, but in my car, I found that I would just kind of, I'd have to lift myself up to get out of it because it sat fairly low to the ground. But yeah, you just get used to getting in and out of it. It's part, and people say, you know, Jeeps are loud and you get a lot of road noise, which I haven't really noticed, to be honest. I've had the hardtop on. I haven't noticed a lot of draft. It's not exactly a warm vehicle. I mean, I'm warm in the front seat, but apparently the back seat gets a little cold. There's not a lot of heat vents back there from what I can tell. So again, if you're regularly using this with passengers, it's probably not the best vehicle for passengers in the back. There's plenty of legroom because I did get the Wrangler Unlimited 4-door, so there's a lot of room back there. It's just not exactly warm back there. I'm fine up here. So if it's you and a passenger in the passenger seat, they're fine. If you have people in the back on a regular basis, it's not exactly warm. Now you can buy headliners for the hardtop that stick on kind of right up in here and in the back. I don't know, I've never seen them, I've never been in one with them, so I don't know how warm they are, but I'm assuming they would be a little warmer. It would insulate a little better and would also absorb some road noise too if that was a problem. Now the soft top, obviously you're going to get more road noise with the soft top up, but again, if you were worried about noisiness, you wouldn't buy a Wrangler. You buy a Wrangler for what it is, what it does. Again, I'm looking forward to in the spring and the summer taking the top down, maybe taking the doors off. Probably not too much, but we'll see. It's one of those things that I think everybody who owns a Wrangler probably has to do at least a couple of times. It is what it is. Again, I'm going to do another video in a month or a few, like 3 weeks, probably closer at the start of February. I'm going to do a video about it. And whether, you know, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. I didn't get heated seats. That was the only thing that I didn't get in this, which, I mean, I didn't buy it new, so I had to take it as it was. So it doesn't have heated seats, which, I mean, really, my girlfriend's car has heated seats, and she rarely uses them. I put them on once in a while. On those really cold days, it's nice to have some heat. But you know, if I really, really want it, come next winter, I can always get aftermarket ones and try to install them myself. But that's the only thing it doesn't have. It has air conditioning. It has both tops. It has the tow package, which I don't have a trailer, but if I ever need it, I can just get it. I have a hitch I bought for it. I just have to rent a trailer. So it's nice to have the options, but yeah, so far I'm pretty happy with it. And like I said, again, I'll make another video in a month, and I'll let you know how I feel then. All right, enjoy.